Thank you. Okay, our next speaker, Pastor Binh Nguyen. He's a former president of the Vietnamese community of Oregon, former mission coordinator of the Church of Nazarene, contributor writer. You can refer to your pamphlet on his information, and we welcome you to speak.
Please allow me to use to read my speech because I'm the last speaker today, and Mike and Mary, they gave me only 12 minutes. I'm not sure I can use 10 or 12, but I try to use 12 only. Today I would like to share with you about my friend's story, and I ask you, please share with your friend and ask your friend to share with their friend about this story. Promise? Please. I met my friend in San Jose, California about 33 years ago. In 1990. We worked at a semi-electronic company. He was a mechanical engineer and became my close friend as well as my co-worker. He was really, really friendly and sincere person. I soon learned that he was also Vietnam veteran. He told me about his story. In 1968, he volunteered to join the army rather than wait to be drafted because he wanted to help people of the Republic of South Vietnam to fight for their freedom. During that time, he has a wife and young daughter. His wife, who support his patriotism, to who he left in San Jose because of his dedication to serve in this country and try to stop and prevent the spread of communism into non-communist countries. And for his sacrifice and patriotism, his life was destroyed. In 1973, the U.S. government decided to withdraw American troops from Vietnam when the North Vietnamese communists continued support by the Soviet Union and other communist countries invaded the South. My friend and his fellow troops felt demoralized by this defeat and came back home, hoping at least for the support of their family and country. But instead of being honored for their service, they were condemned by their communities, called women and baby killer and spat on. My friend returned home to a life in shambles and had no place to live. His wife fell in love with another man while he was away and divorced him when he returned. She says, I cannot be married to someone who killed women and children. Of course, his daughter didn't know who he was and called that other man father. He called his mother, asking for a place to live in the house that he grew up in. His mother welcomed him, but his older brother told him, "You are my brother, but this house has no place in it for a woman and baby killer." Ladies and gentlemen, my friend in San Jose, and the true story again, I ask you to tell your friend and ask your friend tell their friend about this story. The Vietnam Wars is often called the first televised wars in history. American people every night saw images of brutality and violence that they had never experienced before. They let the media use fake news to propagate and brainwash them. Many fake stories of violence against Vietnamese civilians were told, and the media sensationalized and generalized this incident until American public began to believe that their own soldiers were monsters. My friend tried to explain to his brother, but his brother didn't believe him. Why? Because daily he watched the news and he believed what the media they propagate for the communist regime. Ladies and gentlemen, the former President Ronald Reagan said, "Trust but verify." In the case of Vietnam War, many Americans trust what they heard in the media without having the ability of making the effort to verify whether or not it was true. Daily, people listen to one-sided reporting from the media about the Vietnam War. They have never heard how grateful the South Vietnamese people were for the American soldier. I believe that this one-sided reporting only benefits communism. My friend became homeless and struggled with alcoholism for a couple of years. Luckily for him, he ran into a former college classmate who offered her help and encouraged him to go back to school to get a graduate degree. He became an engineer. And I used to work with him. That wonderful woman eventually became his wife. They start a new life together and they have children of their own. My friend's story has a happier ending than many other Vietnamese veterans experience. He met someone who listened to his story and believed in his goodness regardless of propaganda that she may have heard, because she trusts but she verified. Today, we have so many ways to learn and verify information. The moral media had to present the truth and tell both sides of story. And I also believe that the moral media should support their country and not have their country's enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, someone once said, people will never truly understand something until it's happened to them. And yes, it is impossible to understand if we haven't experienced it ourselves. Today, I really want to see any of us who claim to be American to know the truth. And I ask you to tell your friend about the truth. American soldiers were not women and baby killers in Vietnam before 1975. They are our heroes. They fight for our freedom.
Thank you.
Even though the U.S. government abandoned South Vietnam in 1973, soldiers of the Republic of South Vietnam continue to try to stop the communism. American soldiers and American civilians left Vietnam safely in 1973. South Vietnamese fought alone, fought bravely, and continued to fight for their own freedom until they lost their entire country on April 30, 1975. That's why we are here. After that Black Day, the Vietnamese people lost everything, including all real freedom. Those who had believed what the communists propagated about socialism, those who had believed what the Vietnamese Communist Party had told them, that all people would be equal under their regime, had their eyes open, but it was too late. Instead of gaining equality, the Vietnamese people lost everything and become equal poor under communist regime. Today, in this country, ladies and gentlemen, today in this country, no matter if we are Republican or Democrat or any religion, we always need to be sure that what we do, what we say, or what we write should be for the betterment of our country and not for our enemy benefit. Yes. Thank you. And if we only care about our family, our business, our assets, our political party, but don't care about our country's survival, and if we don't love our country enough, if we don't protect what we have here, if we just take freedom for granted and leave ourselves vulnerable to our enemy, we have nowhere to go, nowhere to run, or nowhere to escape for a better life. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, as Americans, we can trust the news, but we also need to use our tool. We have to verify. We need to be aware of where our information is coming from and understand that those sources might be biased in one way or another. It is our duty as Americans to use our brain and make sure we understand the facts and the truth of what we hear in the media. And please be careful with any news. Trust but verify. God bless us and God bless America. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.